Okay, I'm looking at the clock on the wall. It looks like it's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, December 2, 2024 meeting of the Mound Planning Commission. This is a regular meeting. I'd like a roll call, please. Sarah Smith.
Planning Commissioner Derek Archambault.
Here.
Planning Commissioner Nick Rosner.
Here.
Planning Commissioner Samantha Wacker.
Here.
Planning Commissioner Kristen Young.
Here.
Planning Commission Chair David Good.
Here. And I note that we have a new face tonight. Our admin tonight is Sarah Lenz. So welcome, Sarah. Okay. I do not believe we have any amendments to the agenda. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as distributed.
Motion to approve the agenda as distributed.
Second.
We have a second. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Turning now to minutes of the November 19, 2024 special/rescheduled meeting of the commission. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to these minutes? Hearing none, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as distributed.
Mr. Chair, I see a note on my agenda that staff recommends we table this to the next meeting, if I'm reading that correctly. Am I the only one who's, am I looking at the wrong? I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm sorry. It's 2023. Never mind. My apologies.
No problem. Okay, returning to the issue of the November 19, 2024 meeting minutes. Chair would entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve the minutes as distributed.
Second.
We have a second. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, Board of Adjustment and Appeals, Planning Commission review/recommendation on proposed amendments to City Code Chapter 119 signage. This is continued from the November 19, 2024 special/rescheduled meeting. Miss Rita.
Good evening. We have provided in the packet a revised set of signage regulations for your review. We used track changes, so hopefully you were able to follow the changes that were proposed. A few of the changes I think were things that I caught or saw and thought should be clarified. Most of them reflected our conversations that we had last month, or I guess it's only been 2 weeks, but 2 weeks ago. So some of it is alphabetizing, hopefully you caught that. We had some conversations about banners and pennants, so when I reviewed those things, I felt like we should make some adjustments. So some adjustments to definitions. We do have a new section related to murals, and I put it all the way at the end of the document. And part of that is because procedurally, I included the procedures for murals there, and it's not going to reference the rest of the rest of the chapter. So signs are procedured earlier, and so the murals are at the end of the document, and that was one of the conversations that we had. We had also had conversations last time with regards to signs, temporary banners, pennants, and ground banner signs. That's probably the other area where we did a few more adjustments to reflect the conversation that we had last time we had met. Some of it is moving things around, and some of it is adding some clarifications as we had discussed. So I think what we're looking for this evening is any other questions, edits, and then maybe a motion to move this forward for the City Council for adoption. And that would happen not in December, but something that would happen in January if you were comfortable with what we have put in front of you this evening. So I can answer any questions, or if you caught any edits that I should make, let me know.
Okay, questions or comments for Rita?
saw something earlier, but I can't find it now.
Well, if you, I mean, not that you're gonna look again, but if you did find it and remembered, you can always let Sarah know, because we can always make a small adjustment, if it's a small adjustment. Because we would like it to be accurate.
Could, Rita, would you mind just commenting on the mural plan? So it says a mural plan must be reviewed and approved by the city council. What does that mean going forward for what would happen next?
Yes, so I believe,
Page 20.
yep. So the mural plan would be reviewed and approved by the city council after recommendation is received by the planning commission. The second part of that sentence explains what would need to be included. Elements such as the location, the size, height, color, lighting, and orientation, and then a design sketch. So that ensures that the city has the opportunity to review the mural and before it is actually painted on a building. So it would be like an approval that would have to happen. It wouldn't be something that you could just put a mural on. This is the plan for the mural.
Okay, I read that as we will be coming up with a forthcoming policy for the council to approve, but this is the applicant would put
Yes.
forth a mural plan. Okay,
Yes.
makes sense.
But maybe I should make that adjustment. I will, just to make sure it's clear. If you who do work with us all the time read it, then I always feel like we should make a little adjustment to reflect that. So I can submit that a little bit different. Maybe it should be the applicant shall submit the proposed mural plan and that same thing, and that would be enough to make that a little bit
Yeah.
clear.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Further questions for Rita?
I think I found it.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
The very bottom of page 13, the edit is addressing painted wall signs.
Oh,
Then at one point in the second to the last sentence, it uses mural in that same,
Oh, yeah.
and that seems to me to be really confusing.
Yeah, thank you. That was probably because I liked the wording I had done in mural and then brought it back up for painted wall signs, so thank you for that catch.
That's a good catch.
Place. Awesome.
And I think we had talked last time just about those very large signs that go across the street that should only be reserved for quasi-governmental things. And I just wanted to make sure, I forget exactly what section of that landed in, but if you guys could remind me.
Page
Sure, it's on page 15, number 4, temporary banners, pennants, and ground banner signs. And I addressed the comment that Mr. Baker made about I think it's maybe Our Lady of the Lakes that does the way they do the signs, can't remember. And then the C is the ones across the street.
Great.
And we have it with permission of the roadway jurisdiction, and it has to be related to some type of public, semi-public, something that has a special event permit that the city approved. It can't just be.
Derek's
any
garage
event.
sale.
No.
And then what part of the code would govern the approval process for that then?
I believe, just a second, these are in, I just want to make sure I say it right. Oh, went too far, sorry. Oops. So these are in the temporary sign section, and they are in the just allowed, but the thing is you can't do it unless you have a special events permit or you're a government. So
Okay.
that's how that will happen.
So it's in the section that says this is a temporary banner.
Yep.
However, it's a certain subtype that's only allowed in
Yep.
that special with
Right.
approval. Okay.
Right now, we don't have it as a specific permit, partly because the special events permit is gonna be the one that makes it happen, or you're the city, and then you don't really need to issue a permit to yourself. That's the thought.
Makes sense?
Further observations or recommendations regarding the language as presented? Well, hearing none, the only change I hear then is at the bottom of page 13. So,
And then a small change to 20.
small change.
And they're changed to 20 to add the applicant on the mural section.
under the mural section. So we have two changes.
2 changes,
All right.
yes.
All right. Chair would entertain a motion to recommend to the city council that the proposed amendments to City Code Chapter 119 signage be approved with the 2 changes as noted.
I move that the planning commission recommend approval of the pages 10 through 20 in the distributed packet with the 2 changes as noted.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Rita.
Yes, thank you. And as I said, this won't be on this month's agenda, but we look at doing it in January. We do have to post
We
it.
have to post 10 days on the website and on the bulletin board. It's not a public hearing, but it will be out for public viewing.
Okay, moving on. Planning Commission review / recommendation regarding reappointments of Planning Commission members Good, Heel, and Rosner. It's the custom of the Planning Commission to make a recommendation to the City Council regarding reappointments of planning commissioners, all of whom I believe have indicated an interest in being reappointed. Am I correct, Sarah?
That's correct.
Okay. So, in order to maintain proper decorum, I plan on abstaining from this vote, and I am assuming Commissioner Rosner will also abstain, but we can still go ahead with a recommendation with the remaining 3 commissioners. So, the chair would entertain a motion to positively recommend the reappointment of Planning Commission members Good, Heel, and Rosner.
I would make a motion that the Planning Commission recommend reappointment to the City Council of Commissioners Good, Heel, and Rosner.
I second.
We have a second. Discussion. Hearing none.
Speeches?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Let the record show the Commissioners Good and Rosner abstained from this vote. Okay, moving on. We voted last meeting to start the meetings at 6 PM instead of 7 PM, and that's a done deal. But we do need to formally change our Planning Commission rules to reflect the change in time. You all see that discussed on page 21. Any comments or discussion about that?
Just a thought, it would seem to me if you're going to move the start time up, you would move by 1 hour, you would move the mandatory conclusion time up by an hour as well. But this isn't going to impact me, so I guess I'll just leave you with that observation.
I thought about that too, though, it could from 6 to 11, but
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's certainly,
I don't
A
know how they did
reasonable
that
approach.
with the other commissions when they moved to 6. Did they also
I don't,
push
I'll
the
be
time
honest with
back?
you, I don't know that the council
Has
has
an end time?
that in their provisions. This is in the planning commission's work rules.
What's our conclusion time, 9 o'clock?
11.
11 o'clock.
It currently shows 7 to 11.
Yeah,
So the thought is if
So
we
it'd
were to move it to
be
6,
6
we would
to
drop it to
10.
10.
yeah, and if you want to go, there's some language in there that talks about that you can extend 1 more hour, right?
Yes, it does say it could be
Yes.
waived by the majority.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've done that
yeah,
before.
and then you set a
All right,
time.
so we would be looking at 6 to 10.
What is the thought of having a mandated end time? Does anyone recall?
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I was like, I was in that meeting with Mr. Cook.
Well, let me tell, we went far
Public
beyond that
hearings.
once.
Yeah, people start to get worn out and,
Aye.
you know.
I think it sets a framework for the meeting.
Makes sense.
It encourages the chair to keep things moving, that kind of thing.
Yeah, sounds good to me to move it up.
So, after that discussion, any further thoughts or comments? So Chair would entertain a motion to change the planning commission work rules that all meetings shall be called at 6 PM and shall conclude at 10 PM unless waived by the majority.
I move that the planning commission adopt the changes to the work rules so that all meetings are called at 6 and shall conclude at 10 unless waived by the majority.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Discussion. Hearing none, all those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Council staff report.
I don't have a lot. Staff and staff activities are busy. We're actually gearing up for special events for 2025. Most recently, the tree lighting was a couple weeks ago. The polar plunge will be on January 25th. Building continues to be very forward-moving. We're still getting applications in every day. We've got a couple new housing starts. We recently issued the demo permit for the foundation and a detached structure for the Minnetonka Flats project, and they are working on their footing and foundation permit application, so, and actually finalizing all the activities related to the final plat, but it remains busy post-election at city offices. That's about all I have.
Big article in the local newspaper on seeking candidates
Yes,
of
thank
interest
you.
for the commission.
Thank you,
I
yes.
noticed that today.
Yes, that they did a nice job. What we found out is that the ad that went in actually was in the public hearing section, and the title had the wrong city. And so, I anticipate that maybe people set it off. So we talked about it as with staff, and I reached out to the chair as well, that we thought that it would be advantageous to extend the time frame and then do something a little more substantive in the paper in the form of an advertisement. And I also saw it was nice and big in the paper. And so we will be moving forward with interviews at our meeting in January.
Okay.
That's all I have today.
Young lady in the back of the room, do you have something you want to bring up?
Nope, just a stalker.
Okay. Upcoming meeting, Tuesday, January 7,
2025,
2025, starting at 6 PM.
6 PM. And this is Mr. Derek's last meeting with us too, so as staff, I just wanted to thank you so much for your help, and it has been a pleasure working with you, and you'll be missed.
I appreciate that, thank you. It's been a
You're
pleasure
welcome.
to join this body and contribute in some small way to our community. And I think everybody knows I'm moving, otherwise I would certainly continue serving.
Well, we're
So,
sorry to lose you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
All our best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Hearing no other business to bring before the commission, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. We have a second.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you for coming. Sorry it's so
My dear-
short.